Hello everybody. In today's game, we're gonna be analyzing Nuclear Int's or Nuke's point of view as Cassiopeia against Maple's Jayce. So let's get started. Rune choice is good. So Conqueror in this team comp is pretty good. Presence of Might is a must and Tenacity is must. These two are basically what you're always gonna be getting on Cassiopeia. Coup de Grace. In this game, it's pretty good. Like they're not gonna have too many HP stackers, and it's gonna help him out in the lane the most. Mana Flow plus Scorch indicates that he wants to play aggressive, and I think it's a good choice. I think he can for sure play aggressive with Scorch, and with Mana Flow, it's gonna give him good mana sustain later on. Now, Jayce, on the other hand, is rushing Phase Rush. This is gonna be important because it's a must as Jayce into Cassiopeia. Basically, you jump in, you do the trade, you knock him back, and then you run away. Now, even if he took Phase Rush on Cassiopeia, it won't change much because with that knockback, he gains enough distance to just run away. So Conquer for us is pretty good. Mm, Now, at 6 this changes because if you ever ult him while he's jumping, we will petrify him and then we can kill him. Before 6, he doesn't have much efficient damage for his mana unless he's jumping Hammer Form on us and getting the full combo. We prevent this by staying out of the range of it while poking with Q and not letting him any Hammer Form out attacks on minions so he doesn't regenerate mana due to his W passive in Hammer Form. After we hit Q, max range, we can try to go aggressive on him if the situation is right, of course. Now, this game could be difficult for Cassiopeia due to the opponents having champions that outrange her, that being Maokai plus Jayce, and also maybe Aphelios too with the red weapons plus ultimate. But if the fight erupts and the melee starts, she's really good into these champions. So she can do really well into these champions. Now, on the other hand, they're missing some heavy hard engage. They only have Nautilus. BDS has only Nautilus. But they have really strong top lane with Ignite. They have strong bot lane, Kai'Sa with Yellow Blades plus Nautilus with Ignite. And they're playing off against Aphelios Alistar, which is pretty weak in early. And they have Sheo on Ivern against Maokai, which means that he can look to counter jungle. And yeah, they can have strong lanes to play around. So if they manage to snowball early plus mid game, they can have the position for dragons, etc. Gold lead. Nautilus just has to hook the first target, even if it's Nautilus, they can just burst him down and force a fight. Here we can see that Cassiopeia started Q. Now, this is not something we should be doing before we actually see the opponent, because this Jayce could be running Doran's shield. It's not uncommon for Jayce to do it if he wants to be playing really aggressive with the hammer form. Now, if Jayce goes Doran's Blade, we can start Q, but we can also look to start E. But if he goes Doran's Shield, we should always be starting E because our Q poke on level 1 is not gonna be sufficient enough to do much. He's just gonna get regeneration from the Doran's Shield, which is what we want to avoid. We want to trade mana efficiently. So that's the same thing Jayce wants to do. Now, when we see him and he has Doran's Blade, if we want to start Q and poke him, that's fine. But we can also be starting E. Now, the thing is, we got experience level 1 from the ward, which means that from the first 6 minions, we're gonna get level 2. So we're gonna see why this is important. Now, the reason why we can start E is because we can focus down the minions much faster for the mana efficiency. And then we can push for level 2. After we get level 2, Jayce is gonna be level 1, we can step up and make him lose some minions more. Keeping the lane in neutral here is completely fine. We want to slow push, we just don't want to hard push and then let him farm under the tower. But yeah, the Q start, there's a good possibility that we miss a few minions of the first wave because just a Q start. But now, this is not a good positioning by Nuke. We're standing behind the range minions, which means that Jayce can just throw one auto attack here, jump on us, right? Or he can auto attack us, he can jump here, and then another auto attack, he procs the phase rush, he dodges our Q, and then he just runs away. And that's a good trade for him. Plus, he will get 1 or 2 minions here. So what we want to do is we want to position either here or either here. Now, the problem with this is we could get level 2 gank, but considering the opponents have Maokai, it is not that common for him to get level 2 from raids and then just run straight mid because he's depending on us playing super aggressive. So if this is a pattern we are doing, it's not good to do it because we could get level 2 gank. But if this is the first time we're doing it, then it is completely possible to do this. So yeah, Jayce cannot last hit, poke us, and dodge our Q with his Q. He should be able to do only 2 of these things. right? So he gets the poke, he gets a minion, and he dodges RQ. So this was a decent trade for Jayce. And then we try to overcompensate, and we overchase, and we use our Q. Now using our Q there was not good because we have level 2 from this melee minion. Now let me go back to show it to you more clear. So we're gonna get level 2 soon, which means that we need to focus this one minion, and we get level 2, while Jayce has to get this minion, and he gets level 2. Now he has to run away because we're stepping up for a Q. He's not gonna just sit here and out attack the minion because he's gonna get traded. Which means that while we're walking up, we're out attacking this minion right over here, this minion here, and we're like threatening we're gonna throw a Q, but we don't actually want to throw the Q before we get level 2. And as this minion is about to die, we throw the Q, and this Jayce is gonna be zoned out and poked. And now he has to choose either dropping this minion here, or he goes for this minion and he gets out-traded really hard because we're Cassiopeia level 2 with the Q plus E and out attacks conquer. Even in the minions, we're gonna take a really good trade here. Plus he has Doran's Blade, so his sustain is not gonna be the greatest. Now Maokai cannot be here because he's still level 2. If he wanted to gank us, he would have ganked already, and we're not in position to get ganked, so we can freely play as aggressive as we just said previously. So yeah, nothing much happening here. We're just fishing for Qs. And the thing is, we're gonna spot this Maokai eventually on this buff. If you don't spot him, that means he did 3 camps topside. If we do spot him, that means he did 2 camps botside, and he's doing red buff right now. So we can see he has 0 buffs, and we can see he's at 8 minions. So this is really important because that means that he hasn't done his topside just yet. So yeah. Show here is gonna look to invade on top side, and here we're just playing normal. We're just playing behind the minions because yeah, we could get level 3 ganked here if we play overly aggressive, and it's really important that we just position ourselves in a way that Jayce doesn't get Q on us and on the minions. So we want to position here. If he's poking us, at this point he's not dealing that much damage with his QE, so he's not gonna be taking mana efficient trades, and this is really important. Mana efficient trades. If he can preserve his mana while poking us, that's really good. The only way he can do that is through the hammer form. So just keeping the lane in neutral, and right now the Jayce used the Q, right? Jayce used the Q, and he just used his hammer form, which means that he right now has everything on cooldown, and we know that. So this minion right now should never be his. After we get this minion, we just posture aggressively and we step up. We can even fish for Qs because our Q cooldown is 3 seconds and his hammer form is 5 seconds. So we just step up and we fish for another Q, and if he steps up, then yeah, we just poke him out. What we can do also is we can threaten to go at him and then go back at our side to make him step forward, and after he steps forward, we go back in, and then we are in Q range and E range to chase him. Because Jayce should never be getting this minion, and if he tries to go for it, we can punish him really hard. So right now, we should never be stepping back. He has Q cooldown, he has ultimate cooldown, and we can kite him properly so he doesn't get E range. Which means that right now, as he's out attacking this, we should be out attacking him, not stepping back, and then looking for the next Q. If we can hit the next Q on him and into E, this guy is gonna be chunked out really hard, and all the while we're doing it, we're kiting towards the top side over here because we know that Maokai did both side camps, and we saw him on red buff, which means that he could be moving into mid, or he could be moving into our bot side. Either way, there's a big chance he's on the bot side quadrant, so we're hugging top side. This is also where our jungler is, in case we have to help him, but that's not ideal because our jungler is just level 2, and he's waiting for the smite for the Gromp. Now, we don't know if Maokai went into our bot side or he's on top side right now, but considering how Jayce is warding bot side right now, we can assume that Maokai is most likely on the top side, because if his jungler went red bot side into our bot side, then Jayce wouldn't be warding here, he would be warding here or here, right? If they had information on Iron. So we can safely assume that Maokai pathed bot to top. But we still kind of play aggressively due to the not having clear information. So we just play in the middle and we're last hitting, punishing Jayce if he steps up too much. We're gonna get information here that Maokai is on the top side, when he uses this plant. When we see this, we have two choices. We hard shove this and go top side to help our Ivern, but this could be bad because our Ivern is poked out and Jax has the first move, plus Maokai has the red buff, so their fights are stronger, and Jayce could also slowly hover and move if needed. The other option is we hard shove this while hugging bot side, and then we move deep toward either here or here. But the most important thing is we should be warding deep to get information on enemy rates while still being protected from this here. So a ward here is the best in my opinion. And the other option would be that we push this out hard, so we don't preserve mana. I mean, we can preserve mana, but we should be auto-attacking more than we're doing here. And then we move into bot side and we can ward plus reset. That's also an option. This ward is what I call a lazy ward. We had time to put a deeper ward, even to spot enemy raids if Maokai does them later on. And then we play normal after this, not aggressive, not too passive. Now we should conclude Maokai is taking Scuttle, and after that, like taking raids into Scuttle, and then after that he has a few options. He can look to gank mid, he can look to do the golems, he can look to do the top gank, or he can look to reset and open either mid lane or the bot side. So those are few options he has. Now, if you play too aggressively, while our Iron plus Nautilus aren't around mid lane, then we can get ganked. So we want to hug bot side where our ward is, right? Once Nautilus and Iron get deep vision enemy bot side, then we can play much more aggressive while hugging bot side. But this shallow ward that we put allows us to punish Jayce on these two minions that because he used his hammer farm to last it. So basically Iron plus Nautilus getting the deep vision so we can play more aggressive. This is really good for us because Cassiopeia wants to play aggressive in the lane, and as we can see, this Jayce mana is not that good. He has 2 cookies, but it's not that good. And we are still full HP with 2 healing potions, which means that right now we can be playing much more aggressive and we can be taking trades up to his face to make him lose his mana for our HP, because we have more HP than he has mana, which means that we can just play aggressive and take a little bit ineffective trades, but in long run they're still good. So yeah, the reason behind it is like, for example, this QE takes 140 HP from us, but he loses 50 plus 60 mana, so he loses 110 mana. He can do 4.5 combos of those, and that's it. And we can survive much longer than he can throw these pokes. So this point here, we should never be hitting this minion over here right now that we're gonna be hitting. The reason behind it is that this minion is below 50% HP. This is around 30% HP. This is around 70% HP, which means that this minion is gonna die before this minion. And because we know that, Jayce has to choose. He doesn't have Q plus E combo, he has Q. We step up and we hug this side over here. We play super aggressive. We don't let him walk up for the rest of the laning phase. We make him use cookies inefficiently. And we go here. We play here. If he jumps on us, that's fine. We take the trade. But we cannot be dropping our minion at the same time as his, because then we have to choose between poking him or last hitting this minion. So right now we play super aggressive here, and as you can see, we have to choose between this minion or poking him. We choose the minion, and Jayce gets this minion for free without us poking him. So we should have been playing more aggressive and then last hitting minions as the minions are dropping it. The good thing with Cassiopeia is that we don't have to prepare the minions, because we have auto attack plus E. So ideally you want to always throw auto attack at the opponent and E at the minion, because E is gonna give you mana and you're still gonna get to poke in with your auto attack. Right? If you wanna go all ham at the opponent, then you can throw E plus auto attack. So that was a decent trade, and as you said, we never want to be standing in the minion wave, so Jayce gets a combo of us and the minion wave. For example, this minion here. Yeah, we have to be standing a little bit more further apart from it, and this is completely fine. His position is not too aggressive because we have decent vision on the bot side. We will see if Maokai comes and tries to gank us. So we pushed in deep. This is good. Now what we want to do is we want to ward deep or we want to reset. Now we don't want to reset yet because we have 1064 gold. Our ideal reset is above 1.1k, and more ideally is 1175, so we can afford a ward as well, pink ward. So that means that we're gonna be resetting after this wave, and this wave is not a Canyon mini wave. So this is good for us because we can push it really fast, use all of our mana, reset, and then TP back. So this is really important. You don't want to be resetting on the Canyon mini wave because it's super hard to push it out. So if this was a Kenyan minion wave, maybe we could consider resetting here already and selling either healing potion and dipping back. But yeah, here we should move into bot side and we should look to deep ward. So in my opinion, warding here is not that good because we have good control of the bot side and we have enough time to ward deep, which means that we can just go and ward over here. And when we reset and get lost chapter, so lost chapter and a pink ward, we can place our pink ward either here or here and control this area here. Our bot side is strong, we are strong, but we're not strong enough and we don't have control of the map enough to push our pink wards deep in enemy bot side, which means that we go step by step. We secure this area and then we move our vision into here and here with normal wards. So this is how we want to be approaching the game. As we mentioned previously, we don't have much mana. We have a good buy after this wave. So here what we want to do is we just want to use our mana to push out. The way we're pushing out is correct. And then we just reset, get lost chapter, get a pink ward, and TP back to keep up the pressure. So the pink ward, as we said, ideally it wants to be placed over here and then slowly push our vision up. So if you know that we're gonna get a pink ward here or here, then we want this ward over here. I mean, this ward ideally should always be placed here and not here, because this ward is lazy, and this ward gives us the same thing that this ward gives us, right? So if they want to go this way, sure, they can do it anyways, even with this ward. So if we want to be placing ward like this, then what we want to do is we want to place a ward over here. Normal ward, if you want to place, we want to place it here because it's gonna cover this quadrant, it's gonna cover this quadrant, and it's gonna cover this quadrant. This ward does the same thing as this one, but this ward gives also the rates. It gives us this area here and this area here. This ward doesn't give us rates, so no rates. And yeah, going back to my previous point, the only way we can play aggressive in Jayce's face is by playing to the side, because here we have to make him choose between last hitting and poking us. And here he tried to do both. He missed us and he didn't get too many minions. So that's how we want to be playing aggressive at this point of the game. And here, if we had this ward over here, over here and not here, we could have been playing more aggressive because we know that Maokai cannot be here flashing and W on us. And we have Nautilus hovering around mid lane, which means that we can be punishing Jayce on this wave. And here we just drop a pink ward here, so pink ward, and then we move back into mid lane and we pressure this Jayce as he's last hitting these minions, and we try to make him suffer for these minions. Over here, our team is pinging to go dragon, which means that we should be getting mid prio and forcing it. So if our team is getting the dragon, that means we have to get prio and we have to be ready to move. Here, if you're freezing or hugging topside, what can happen? So if you're hugging here, Maokai can come, they can get and force prio and then move into dragon, and we're cut off from the team, and they can look to kill our team at a dragon. So the way we're doing it is really good here. We get mid prio, or we try to trim the wave, we try to get the wave, we hug the bot side. If the team needs us to move, we move. Now the thing is, with this pink ward, as we mentioned previously, this ward is very easily clearable. So if you had a pink ward here, it would be much better, and a ward here or here. But yeah, this ward is too deep and it's very difficult to protect it at this stage of the game. So Jayce gets the top prio here, and he starts moving onto bot side, and we see him. So right now, Jayce can be moving here, so we have to be very careful because Maokai plus Jayce and Jayce can definitely get us if we're not careful, if we're out of position. But here we're playing good. We have Iron stepping up on the top side, and he's giving us enough vision. Now we see Jayce back on top lane, which means that we can be 3v2 here, and we win 2v2. Cassio plus Iron at this stage of the game are much stronger than Maokai plus Jayce. We have that conquer, and we just have that extended trade. So we have a ward here, and after our Iron drops the bushes here, what we should be thinking about is dropping a ward in middle of the lane. So we step up and we ward here. Now, why do we ward here? We ward here because we're playing against Jayce, and Jayce, what he likes to do is after he clears a minion wave or something, or he has a down timer on last hitting, etc., he can either go here or he can go here and then look for E plus Q or Q plus E onto us. Now, to avoid this, we ward here in mid, and then if Jayce goes this side, we go this side. If Jayce goes this side, we go this side, right? Of course, if this is a acceptable because we don't want to go onto here if enemy Maokai can walk in here, right? But here we have good vision, and on top side here we have Shell, so we can afford to do that. What Ivan does here is really good for us. He denies the Canyon minion from Jayce. And here what we should be thinking about is playing aggressive if possible. So here we have decent vision on the bot side. Unfortunately, we don't see Maokai. We see enemy Alistar plus Aphelios, and we see Jayce. Now, the most important thing here for us is, other than trying to play our lane really well, is to preserve our HP. The Herald is up in 30 seconds, and enemy bot lane here is going to have the move. So what's going to happen is Nautilus can either reset and start moving from bot lane to mid lane, try to get the pressure, and then move here because we have top prio. We can have mid prio here if we are contesting the push, and our Kaiser can be late and coming from the base with ultimate to help us at the dragon. What's really important here is that we stay healthy, because if we eat 2 or 3 EQs from Jayce, that means we're gonna be forced to base, and then we will drop mid prio and the position to fight at the Herald. And this is really important against a poke comp, which is what they have, although this poke comp is not online, and it's not really a poke comp, but they do have Jayce plus Maokai, who are really good at poking. So that ward really helps us to avoid the poke from Jayce. And here, as I was saying, we can play aggressive. What I meant was, when the minions position like this, we can walk up and we can be here behind the minions. So not close enough for him to throw EQ and get us, but still in range to look for Q as he's out-attacking these minions. Because here we're playing overly passive, and there's no reason for us to play overly passive because we have vision here and Ivan just passed that way, and we have a pink ward here. And if they're trying to commit for us on mid lane, we do have flash, we have ultimate, we can maybe even look to 1v2. And yeah, if they use too many ultimates and too many tools, then the Herald will be ours. So we definitely can be playing more aggressive. And the problem is we're hugging the minions too much, as you can see, and we're getting the poke from Jayce, plus he pushes the wave, which is really good for him. So we don't want to be letting him get the poke on us and the push on us. So he can get one, he can get both. And here, as we mentioned previously, we see Jayce here. So that means that we should be hovering towards here, not here, which means that Jayce can just EQ here. Now we can see how he does that, and having the ward in the mid lane definitely helps us to do that. So we should never be going this side, we should just hovering this side. And what Jayce can do is he can go this way and he can try to shoot us from here like this, right? But having that ward in mid lane would allow us to see him and spot him doing that, and then we can act accordingly. If we were on this side, we just move on to this side. And meanwhile, we're getting the mid push. And after this, we can move into top side. We can get a ward of our own. So ward here. And then we can look to either start the Herald already. Top gets the prio. And even though this Aphelios has the first move, we're going to be doing Herald much sooner than they can come. And we do win 3v3 and 4v4s here. The problem is Nautilus is pretty late and Alistar got the first base. So we will probably have to play so, and we will have to get top push and move first. So 3v3, where they don't have Jayce, we don't have Nautilus. If Jayce drops the top wave and moves, then we have to be very careful. But getting poked like this just forces us to go base, and right now it is difficult to contest the Herald because we are late on timers and they will get the position. And with this, we conclude this review of Nuke's Cassio against Maple's Jayce. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. And I wish you a very nice day.